and welcome to Miniature Mayhem. In today's video I'm going to be painting a dwarf bust printed for me by my good friend Ryan, and I'm going to be painting this in an old school Warhammer Slayer colour scheme, as that's something that really appeals to me. As a kid I grew up reading all of the Gotrek and Felix novels, and I've always just had a real thing for the little guys. In fact, arriving hopefully tomorrow as I'm recording this, I'm going to be painting a Votan army, which I'm really looking forward to. Hopefully I have lots of tutorials up for you on that. As I'm airbrushing there in the background, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to everyone who's watched all my videos so far. Thank you to everyone who leaves comments. Like, they've all been absolutely amazing and so nice. Really, yeah, I can't thank you enough. It's been absolutely amazing, and I'm really enjoying creating videos for you guys and the feedback I'm receiving. Also, if you do follow any of the tutorials, make sure to tag me on them on Instagram. I'll leave a link in the description down below. I love to see the work that people have done. I just want to give a special shout out to Son of Sanguinius 9 on Instagram. He's tagged me in 5 of the different tutorials that he's followed of mine, and I just want to say, mate, you've done an absolutely fantastic job, and your posts have really made my day. Thank you. With the skin of the dwarf now base coated, I'm adding CADIAN flesh tone and applying an all over highlight, focusing on the raised areas, some of the ridges, generally using it as a volumetric highlight, and picking out pretty much everything apart from the deepest recesses. I'm just starting to build up the highlight now using pure CADIAN flesh tone. Using the pure CADIAN flesh tone, I have added some striations to the muscle to start bringing out some definition. Adding even more contrast to the skin, I've added in some witch flesh to make the highlights even brighter. Using some watered down squid pink, I'm just picking out the scars and also painting the dwarf's nose. Quite typical for dwarfs to be quite ruddy skinned, and I thought this would be a nice touch. Using a light glaze of shadow grey, I'm adding some shadows underneath the eye. I put way too much on at first, but as the paint was nice and watered down, I was able to wash my brush and then wick it away quickly before it dried. For the lower half of the beard and the hair closest to the dwarf's scalp, I've added a base coat of MOURNFANG brown. For the upper portions of the hair, I added a base coat of JOKEARO orange. Where the two colours meet, I painted a few hairs going down into the brown section to smooth the transition over. With both base layers now dry, I've added a wash of FUEGAN orange to bring out the colour in the beard. JOKEARO orange is quite a washed out colour, so adding a wash of FUEGAN orange over the top really brings it out. At the base of the hair in the darkest recesses, I've used a wash of Agrax Earthshade. This looks like it's going on quite thick, but what I do is immediately wash the brush, add some water, and then I start to wick the paint away, which makes it gradually smoother as it goes out towards the tips. With that layer now dry, we've got a nice orange to brown transition, and we're going to bring back in JOKEARO orange to add some highlights to the upper portions of the beard and some of the more prominent fibres on the lower half. Adding a small amount of Troll Slayer orange into the mix, we're going to add a second highlight, this time focusing on the upper half of the beard and the top half of the crest. I wanted my dwarf to be quite an elderly gentleman, so I decided to add some Dawnstone grey around the nose and the lips. I'm now applying a second coat of pure Dawnstone to highlight those grey areas. For leather, I'm going to base coat it Steel Legion Drab. For the decorative belt, I applied a base coat of CALIBAN green. For the secondary colour of the belt, I applied a base coat of Avalon Sunset. For the runic symbols, I added a base coat of WARPLOCK bronze. To all those base coated areas I added 2 washes of Agrax Earthshade, both watered down with Lamy and Medium. This gives me a little bit more control and stops the pooling. Using black I'm going to paint in the eyeballs. It's amazing how much easier it was on this scale. I wish it was always this easy to paint Warhammer models and their eyes. The method was still the same, using a thin down black paint to fill out the whole eye socket. Using a mix of Lamy and Medium and AHRIMAN blue, I created a wash to apply to the WARPLOCK bronze. With that now dry, I applied a second wash of Nihilakh Oxide, watered down again with Lamy and Medium and focusing on the lower third. Returning to the metal now, I re-highlighted it with WARPLOCK bronze. If you are enjoying this tutorial, I'd massively appreciate a thumbs up down below, hit that subscribe button if you'd like to see more content, and leave a comment if there's any other busts you'd like to see me do in between other army projects. To add some nice texture to the belt, I added WARPSTONE green into the base mix and stippled that all over. Applying a second layer of stipples using pure WARPSTONE green, this time focusing on the upper areas. I wanted the yellow to appear stitched, so I added lots of parallel lines opposite to the direction of the chevrons. Adding some Uriel yellow into the mix, I tidied this up and applied a highlight to the upper edges. For the leather I added a small amount of witch flesh into Steel Legion drab and stippled it along the edges. To finish off the eyes, I took a very watered down white and added a small dot into the inside corner of each eye and a slightly larger dot to the outside. You'll see in a minute I make a slight mistake on the left eye, but you can quickly go back in with the black and tidy it up. If you find when you're painting eyes that the paint actually dries on the brush before you manage to get it to the model, a good tip can be to pull the brush backwards along your finger closer to the model and quickly to touch it on. What this will do is wick the wet paint towards the tip of the brush. Just going back in again now with the black to make the pupils nice and round. With the eyes finished, my first ever bust is now complete. I think this was a brilliant project just to break up the monotony of painting armies. I did forget to record the tutorial for the tattoo, but it was just a small amount of green added into the skin mix. If anyone watching out there does have a go at painting a bust, I'd absolutely love to see your work, so just tag me on Instagram and I'll be sure to check it out. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.